Hey everybody, welcome to the Soulful Eclectic. I am your host, Diana Collins, and I am here today with Dr. Jamila Williams, and I am so grateful for her to come on the show today, and I appreciate it so much. So, for those of you who are new to the podcast, I want to say thank you for taking the time out to listen. I totally appreciate you. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I love that you guys came back to hear what we have to talk about. And I think we had some really great stuff to talk about because I think Dr. Jamila Williams has a couple layers that she's going to share with all of us today, and I can't wait to hear them all. I know a few of them, but I think she's a woman of many tricks over there that she's hiding. um, without further ado, I introduce Dr. Jamila Williams. How are you?
Well, hello, Diana. I am excellent, and I'm so honored to be on your program today. And yes, I'm sure we will hit on a lot of subjects that are going to be interesting to everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I met you. God, it's almost already almost a month, right?
Right.
A month ago at a marketplace event, and we shared a space, a parking lot, and
Yes.
but it was really great because we met a lot of great people that day, and I mean it was a beautiful day. It was hot. It was the end of Black History Month, so it was really a great time to really celebrate not only what we do but who we are as a people. So that was really interesting, and I love events like that. So it was great meeting you, and I thought that you were just like I said, an onion. You know, you had many layers, and I enjoyed talking to you. I mean, we had a very great conversation to the point where it was like, okay, I need to go here, and you need to go here, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and those are great conversations. But in that, I heard a few things that I would love to hear more about. And then you had me come on your program, which you're going to talk about too. So I would love to,
Yes.
touch on that. But first, before we go for that, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, as you said, I'm Dr. Jamila Williams, and I earned my doctorate in educational leadership, specializing in curriculum and instruction. So I started out as a teacher, and I was in the classroom. I've taught anywhere from kindergarten all the way through fifth grade, and then a little bit of sixth grade in the summer school. So I love children. I love helping children. But the most important thing is seeing that light bulb go off when it's like, oh, that's what it is. And I love doing that. And so after 20 years in the classroom, I became an administrator because my thought is, well, I'm able to impact the children that I have each year, but I want to impact more. I want to do more. And so that's when I became an administrator, starting out as an assistant principal and then becoming a principal of a K-8 or pre-K-8 school.
Wow.
And we were a very small school, so that was a little difficult, but we did. And through that, I had the ability to work with the parents and to really get to understand what it's like when you're dealing in poverty. My schools that I worked at were always high poverty schools because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to reach out and help those that needed help. And so my school was the highest poverty school in the district.
Yay!
And so, no, that was high poverty.
Oh, not high scoring. Oh, I misunderstood. Oh my
high
God.
Poverty.
No.
We had the poorest students, but we did, working together with the teachers when I came in as principal, we became a banner school with the high scores in pre-K 3.
Awesome.
And they were sending people to us to see how we did.
See, I knew it was
because,
coming.
When you're in a high poverty area, they don't expect much out of you at all. And when our scores were coming in, they were thinking, okay, what are you doing? Because your first through third graders shouldn't be doing this. And so we had the privilege to travel to Hawaii to do a presentation, and my reading specialist and I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And I enjoyed working not only with the children, but the teachers and the parents. And that's where I found the need, was with the mothers. Working with the mothers and helping them, because either life had beaten them down,
right,
and they were feeling like, I'm not really worth much, or they were in relationships that weren't as supportive of them. I'll put it that way.
Right.
And so I started then working on a program with the women and helping them to see the good in them and to making them feel good. And that's kind of what started me on my journey.
Nice.
So that's all my backstory.
Well, that, you know what, and I love it, and I love the passion that you just, I mean, you just lit up when you were talking about the kids, and it's beautiful to see. Now I remember why I was drawn to you. You remind me of my 5th grade teacher, Mrs. King, when I was a kid.
Wow.
She was just a beautiful soul. But that was all of the things that you do professionally, right? Who are you, like, as a person?
I'm a mother. Okay. I have 3 children, a grandmother, which I enjoy. I have 5 grandchildren. Aww. And I retired early. And so I just like to enjoy life and to be around people that like to enjoy life and just support them. And so I'm just that person that likes to have fun and travel. I travel.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yes, that's me. I just like to have fun and enjoy life because, tomorrow's not promised. And I learned from when my mother passed, and I'll get into that a little bit later, but you better take each day and enjoy it. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and be at peace with yourself, because you never know when something is going to happen in your life that's going to change everything. Yeah. And so that's my philosophy. I just take each day and enjoy it to the fullest and try to be the best person that I can and to help others along the way.
See, that's beautiful. And you transition that or combined it with your passion for education and educating the children. And
yes,
how receptive were the parents? Because I know that's a hard one during that time. You're not really critiquing them, telling them they're a bad parent, because no one's really a bad parent. They just don't know what they don't know. So how did you come across that? Because I'm sure there was some disgruntledness there or some discourse there on some level. So how did you combat that?
Well, there was. Again, being a high poverty school, I had a lot of single moms. I had students from Guatemala, Native American, African American, Caucasian, all mixed together, and just trying to make them feel comfortable in the school. And so I would be out, I would talk with them, I would have meetings and, doing everything. We had our parent conversations. But the group of women that I selected were the ones that I saw that they were in the school a lot. They wanted to do good. But like you said, they just didn't know. And so that was the group that I took. And not teaching them about, like you said, you're bad, you don't know. But more of, let's look at what you do bring to the table and move up from there. And so that was there. I remember one time I learned how to welcome my parents in Spanish. Oh, and when I did, I had one of my teachers who was Hispanic to phonetically write out the words. And I got up to the mic and I was reading my little script, but because it was phonetic, I sounded like I knew what I was saying. And so just doing things like that to make the parents feel welcome and to get to know me, like you said, as a person. And so that was what I did. And when I was a teacher, I would call parents and just say, your child is great. Your child had a great day. You're awesome. And because, when parents, usually when you get those phone calls, it's about, okay, what did Johnny do now? Mm-hmm. No, I just called to say that Johnny would have had a great day, and I just want to thank you for being a parent of mine. Mm-hmm. And so, reaching out into the positive and trying to stay positive.
Yeah. And that's really hard when you come from those poverty-stricken areas. And I'm going to speak to that because I did. Growing up in Brooklyn, my mom had me at 15. So, she was finishing school while trying to raise me. And, my grandmother was very influential in raising me as well. But even at 15, my mom was like, no, I'm going to be a mom. So she, became a nurse and did all these things. So she, I was able to watch that and see that, but not everyone has that. I mean, even though we still live in the inner city, in the ghetto, in the hood, whatever terminology, is PC today, she made it happen. And I'm always grateful for that. I mean, it was never rosy, right? You had your bad days. But at the end of the day, she showed us that there was better, that because you lived in this inner city, in the ghetto, doesn't mean you have to be of the ghetto. And that's one of the biggest takeaways. And I think you were that light for those students to see that even though I do live here, other things are possible. And I think that's wonderful. And I wish more kids had that, because in that poverty stricken, they're left to their own vices. And then when something troubling happens, then it's like, oh, well, you're from there. No.
Right.
No.
Yes.
So when you stepped down, when you retired, when you started living that glorious life, right? How did you begin that transition? Because it's not easy. Just thinking about you and knowing you in this short time and having this conversation, I know it wasn't easy. How did you come to that conclusion, that decision?
Well, at first it was fun. Oh my goodness, not to have to get up when I wanted to get up, go do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. I loved it. And when I retired, my mother and I moved here to Arizona from Portland, Oregon. Mm-hmm. And so we were loving it. We were doing things and going around and everything. But then, because I'm such a people person, I was like, I have nothing. I have my mom, and we had a great time. Mm-hmm. But I wanted more. And so a friend of mine that I was walking with was talking about a business she was in. And my question to her was, are the people nice?
Right.
And she was like, yeah, they're nice. And so then my next question was, do you have fun? And she's, oh, yeah, we have parties all the time, and we do this. I was like, sign me up. And I did. I signed up. I didn't care what the business was. People have fun. People that are nice, mm-hmm. have fun, sign me up. And I can have some travel benefits. Oh, that's it. That was the done deal. And so when I first started, that's all I did. Mm-hmm. I showed up at every meeting, every event. My mom came with me, and we had fun. I got to know people. We partied. I didn't even think about it being a business.
Right.
It was a party. That's all I cared about. And I had so much fun until I had to really actually think about it was a business. Mm-hmm. But once I realized that, yes, it's a business, but I can still teach. Mm. I can still train. And because I like teaching and training, I was still good to go. Sign me up again. I'm ready. So that's kind of the transition there was easy. It was difficult, though, figuring out my mom, mm-hmm. my have fun, and the business. Now, we went to the business together and had fun. My mom and I did fun things, but it just, you have to learn how to manage that.
Mm-hmm. So how was that piece? Because you say you lived with your mom, and it sounds like she passed, right? Um, so you're dealing with a different type of balance that traditionally or non-traditional. I would say non-traditional, maybe. I don't know. To me, everything is it's what it is. It's life. We're all different. We all different, dealing with different family dynamics and things like that, and we're all juggling different things. So, how did you manage to maintain that work-life mom balance? Because mom is a different job too, right?
Yes, it was. Initially, I would have once a month was Mom's Day. Mm-hmm. And nothing else, bit work, nothing. This is Mom's Day. And we would go and do things together, go play bunco with the other group of seniors, mm-hmm. or go on trips and things like that. And then life, business, I got more into the travel, and so then it was just some adjustments. But just continually to remember that I love my mom. Mm-hmm. I love my mom. And when she couldn't go with me, I still would have her know that she was there in my heart. Mm-hmm. And so, but that is really a difficult situation. I see commercials now talking about when you're taking care of your parent and different things that you could do, like the phones and things like that. And I'm like, where were they when I needed them?
Right.
I didn't think about that maybe. But I would just say to anybody that's taking care of your parents, make them the center. Make sure you make time for them. Make sure that they know and they feel that they're loved, because once they're gone, all those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you can't do. I shoulda took her here, or I would. Yeah. It's over. And you have to live with that. And that can be trying. It can be depressing. Yeah. You got all those thoughts. So don't do that. Enjoy your parents. Honor your parents. Take care of your parents. Have fun with your parents. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I you know what? And you say that, and I am very guilty of that, because fortunately, my mom had me early, so we're not that far in age. I mean, we're about 15 years different. So for me, it's really hard to see that in peace. But as you said in the beginning, we only have one life, and we are not promised tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
So that's something that I have to remember personally too, that yeah, she's good today, but we don't know what happens tomorrow. Right? So I share that with everyone also, that we can't take that for granted, because we do, especially now during this pandemic where we really don't know, right? And and that's with vaccine, without vaccine, however you want to spin it. I'm not going to, sit here and get on that soapbox. But regardless, you still are unsure. We're still on uncharted waters here.
Well, you look at that 14-year-old young man.
Yes.
He was 14. Nobody would expect him not to be here.
No.
So that's why I say, enjoy your family, mm-hmm. because you never know.
Yeah.
And don't have any regrets. Don't live with because you'll have to live with those regrets. So do it now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with that, you're doing that juggle. You're making mom the center, and you're doing the travel business and teaching, and how did you take care of you and your mental? I know traveling was your thing, and yes. that was an outlet for you. But what else? Because again, we're dealing with a lot of mental health, especially now during the pandemic, and I don't want to say that it's more prevalent. I think it's just being seen more than what it was. I don't think the prevalence ever changed. It's just now people are paying attention and just a tad bit more. So how are you? How were you? And how are you taking care of your mental health during, all of this, even before the pandemic, taking care of mom during the pandemic? How? What did you do?
Well, see, that was the issue. I was taking care of mom, enjoying the business. That was it. And so to me, I was living my best life. I was flying here and there. I was in front of this person, that person. I had it all, right? And I had my mom too. But what happened is, the more I got involved in the business, the less time I had to spend with mom. And I wasn't taking care of me at all because I thought I was doing those two things. And I just kind of lost myself. I lost me. I became the business. I even lost contact with mom, even though she's living with me. But I was just so involved in having fun, traveling, in the business, doing this and that and the other, that I forgot to take care of me physically, mentally, and I was not taking care of mom as much as I should have been. And so when my mother passed, it was devastating. I'm an only child. My mom was young, not as young as yours, but my mom was 18. I didn't have a grandmother. And so when my mom passed, the business meant nothing to me. Because my mom and I initially were working together to help me to become a director. I mean, that was the goal. And so she was patient at first with me running around because she was supporting that goal. But when she passed, I had no goals. In my mind, my life was over. I even prayed, Lord, take me. I went through my children. All my children were married or are married. And they have their own families. So they're good. I'm single, no husband, no boyfriend. So just go ahead and take me. No, everybody's okay. And the Lord didn't, because I'm still here. But that's when I went through all those shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Because I had put work, well, it wasn't really called work because I'm retired. But I put business before my mom. And when I didn't have a desire to do the business anymore, because that was what my mom and I did together, then there was nothing. No business, no mom, no life, nothing. And the Lord and I had many talks. They weren't good ones because I was angry. I was angry because during the time, my mom's sister had a stroke in January. So in July, we got the report that she's probably going to be passing. So my mom and I went up there basically to say goodbye to my aunt. And initially we stayed in a hotel room. And, things were good. We had breakfast, had everything. And then my mom, when we were supposed to leave, my mom wanted to stay one more week. Well, we didn't have the hotel, and we didn't have the hotel money. So we had to stay with my cousin, who also, that was where my aunt was. And my mom was just angry, angry, because she'd never seen her sister like that before. And I wasn't receptive enough to pick up my mom's pain. Because in my mind, we're saying goodbye. That's your sister. I'm only child. I don't know what it is to have a sister,
Right.
a brother.
Right.
Just say bye.
Right.
Not that cold.
No, I get it.
But I didn't know. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know, and I didn't pay attention. So then she actually passed twice.
Oh.
The first time we were sharing a bed, and my mom was not feeling good. She was, having stomach issues and everything. And I'm like, what's going on? What's the matter? And we thought it was a salad that she ate that was, had gone bad or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I, gave her some 7-Up, and it was just, we didn't know.
Right.
And usually, I was taking some meds to help me sleep,
Mm-hmm.
but usually I can wake up. It's not like NyQuil or something like that where I'm out.
Right.
But this particular night, I was so sleepy.
Mm.
And so I would wake up and see my mom having issues, say something, she'd be like, go back to sleep, and I would. And then I heard this real deep, gutsy breath.
Oh.
I thought, that's strange. And then I heard it again. It's like, something's not right. I turned and looked at my mom, and she was gone. Wow. I was picking up her arms and, Mom, like you do. She was gone. So I ran into the next room. I got my cousin who knew CPR. She started CPR. We called the ambulance. Well, by the time they got to the hospital, they had resuscitated her, but she was not conscious. And so, but she was breathing. She was breathing with the help.
Right.
So we went a whole week in the hospital. I initially sleeping on chairs because I refused to leave the room. I stayed there with her. And all of those, like I said, those woulda, coulda, shouldas, those God, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you wake me up?
Right.
So I could have helped her before she was gone. And so we ended up, as I said, that she did pass in the hospital. They had her in a like a hospice room, and she did pass. And that was the second time because I was in the room. And so I came out of that situation just devastated. I had, no goals.
Right.
No life. And I kept hearing God say, you are able. And I said, God, you're talking to the wrong girl here.
Right.
Because this one is not able to do anything without my mom. So mom's gone, I'm done, take me. But I kept hearing that, you are able. And so I started looking up able words, capable. Now I can't think of them, but all those words.
Right.
Understandable.
Right.
All those able words. And it took us a positive spin. And that's when I started writing the book, You Are Able.
Yes, You Are Able. Yes.
And it's moving from shattered to empowered. That's when the Lord gave me the able to stand for awesome, bold, legendary, empowered.
Wow.
And so my goal with the You Are Able Academy is to help women that, like me, felt life was over. The world is done. Take me away.
Right.
Because you think about, like you said, all the people have lost jobs. People have lost family members. People have lost spouses. Incomes have gone. People have lost children. And so there's a lot of hurting people in the world. And so if I can just touch a few and help them to move forward and feel better about themselves, about their lives, and find a path, see there's a path to move forward, that's my goal.
And that's a beautiful goal. I think that's a goal that we both share. I mean, that's why I started the podcast, because I said there's a need for people that look like us, right?
Right.
To deliver the message that we can and that we are able.
Yes.
Because we hear it from non people of color, and it's like, yeah, okay, but you walk a different path than I do. You have
Mm-hmm.
different, you may have your own hurdles that you have to get over, but they're nothing compared to mine,
Right.
right? So with that, we don't go seek a assessment, but we don't go seek help from another professional, because we were taught to deal with it on our own, right?
Right.
Handle it the best way you know how, and you just keep moving. You just keep moving. You pick it up. You just keep moving. So
Pick
having
up your
that,
bootstraps. Keep
right,
going.
you pick up your bootstraps and you keep going, and not to say that's a bad thing, right? Because just that philosophy alone got me where I am today, because I had to keep moving, right? So sharing that, did you, when writing You Are Able, did you have counseling? Did you go see someone? Because you're dealing with a lot of things while you're writing this book, right? You're dealing with loss,
Yes.
that those 5 stages of grief. Like you said, you were angry. So now this is your healing, but did you speak to someone, or was this just a journey you started on your own?
No, I did go to counseling. I went to grief counseling. I went to a personal counselor because I was filled with guilt.
Mm-hmm.
It was all my fault. I was there. I should have seen the signs. Back to the coulda, woulda, shouldas. Why didn't I take her to Grand Canyon?
Right.
Why didn't I do this or that and the other? And so it was just all in my head. I started writing the book and then I stopped because the emotions, because it was like I poured my feelings and emotions out in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And writing that brought up all that hurt and pain and anger again. Through, like you said, those 5 steps of the grief process. I had to start over again. So finally, I got to the point and I just wrote the book
Mm-hmm.
because I knew that was a way that I could honor my mom. You know, thinking if I wanted to make up for those woulda, coulda, shouldas, what could I do?
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the book in her honor so that it could help someone else. And so I had to get counseling first and deal with the things, it wasn't my fault.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times, like you said, we don't go get that help that we need. And we feel and we hold it inside. And then you get outbursts and you're wondering why people are so angry.
Right.
Well, it has nothing to do with the situation.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, it's what's going on inside of them.
Yes.
So you've got to, again, recommend anybody that's dealing with hurt or pain or feelings of inadequacy, seek help. It's okay to seek help. That's one of the things that I'm developing with You Are A.B.L.E Academy is a way to minister to the women that are hurting. I am not a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't claim to be, but I'm a great listener.
Sometimes
And
that's
I do have some knowledge and understanding of people, of my own story that I can share with others. But get that professional counseling that you need. And if you're not ready for that, you just want to reach out to somebody. One of the things in my book is developing a support team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so important to have that support team of people around you that are there for you.
Yes.
Not just the ones that pat you on the back, oh, you're okay, we'll help you.
Right.
Or the ones that say, well, you've grieved enough, just get over it.
Yes.
No. But those support people, the people that will listen to you and just let you cry on their shoulders. The people that have said, okay, you've cried enough, now let's get up and get to work, get something done.
Right.
The people that you did it. You got out of bed this morning. Yay! Your cheerleaders.
Right.
Your people that are saying, all right, now what steps are you going to take? What do you want to do now? Where are you going to go? I had people that say, what would your mom want you to do? Would she want you staying here laying in bed, not getting up, not taking a bath and all that?
Right.
No. Then let's go. So you need all those different people around that are dedicated to helping you to move through your journey, because it is a journey. So, yes, that's my suggestion.
That's a great suggestion, and I know on the podcast I suggest it all the time, that when you need that help, it's okay to get help. It's okay to talk to somebody. The hard thing is, as a practitioner, I know it's hard to find people that look like you to talk to.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that started me to build college education, resource management, because students need to see professors that look like them in higher education, and even in elementary education, right? We need, in secondary education, we need teachers that look like us.
Yes.
Because I was blessed to have several teachers that looked like me, but I also went to school in the inner city. What about those students that are actually living in the suburbs and they have to go to all white schools? That was my children, right? None of their teachers looked like them, unless they were the hall monitors or something like that.
The aides.
Yes. But their primary teachers did not look like them. So that's the hard part, and I know that's why a lot of people don't go seek help and don't go to providers, because they don't look like them. They don't understand what I'm going through. They're just going to tell me, like you said, get over it. How long are you going to, grieve or whatever, and give you these suggestions that, quote unquote, work for white people.
Or give you a bunch of pills.
Or give you a bunch of pills. That was the next thing I was going to say. Or ready to pull out that prescription pad and write your prescription, right? And that's not what we need. And that's not understanding who we are. So I just want people out there to know that even if you're comfortable, if you cannot shop around, don't have that luxury to shop around for a provider that looks like you, because most of the providers that look like you are probably going to be out of your network somewhere, more than likely. And that's not of advantage to you. Find someone that is probably not going to be of color, but someone that you're able to have that relationship with, develop that relationship. And sometimes it does take going more than one provider to get to that one, right? That's going to sit there and listen and understand, and not pull out the prescription pad as soon as you walk through the door.
Right.
So I know that was probably on your mind too when you were looking for a provider or someone to talk to.
Well, I know when I first started, I went to the support group.
Okay.
And I was still in the angry stage. I was still in denial. I knew it happened, but in my mind, my mom had went on vacation and she was coming back anytime.
Right.
And I really, that was my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
She was on vacation. And I went to a support group. Well, unfortunately, I wasn't ready to receive the help. See, that's the other piece. You got to be open to receiving.
You got to be ready.
I wasn't.
Okay.
And I went to the event. I'm still crying, and other people are crying and talking about their person had been gone for 10 years and stuff. But I'm like, well, then how are you going to help me?
Right.
Again, they were not like me. They didn't look like me. And my thing is, how are you going to help me if you're still crying? So obviously you don't know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got out of the group. Then I sought a one-on-one provider. And she, even though she was not like me, she was so seasoned and experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would say, it's all my fault and I could have stopped it, she's like, oh, so you're God now. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying I'm God. She said, no, you said you could stop it. You could have changed the situation. So then you must be God. And that kind of woke me up there as to, oh, okay, if that's what God wanted, if that's how God planned, or even if it was, as they say, the devil meant for evil, God still was going to make it for good. And so then my main counselor after that was God. I still had other people that were counseling me, but I had to let go of the anger so that I could heal.
Yes.
Because as long as you're angry, you can't heal. You cannot heal when you're angry. So you have to let go of that anger and be open to listen and heal. And that's when the healing process started.
And forgiving yourself.
And then my counselor, who I loved because she was so good, retired.
Oh gosh, no, that's the other bad part. You find someone you can work with and they leave and it's like, no.
Yes. So I didn't want to start over.
No, that makes sense.
So then my counselor became writing this book because I was able to get all my feelings and emotions out on paper. And, for my first book, I think it was pretty good. I did get reports from people. It was something it was on my website.
Okay.
And a young lady that I knew when she was a little girl who played with my children. And she wrote me and she said that the book was just what she needed. Her parents had both passed and she was feeling lost. And when she read my book, it gave her the ability to get herself back together and to move forward in life. So that was such a, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but that made me feel like it was all worth it writing the book.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. You touched one person and that's what it was all meant for. I mean, you're definitely will touch more, but just in that young lady knowing you, and just it's wow, it's awesome. It's an amazing feeling. That I don't know what else to say about it. It's an amazing feeling, and no one can know what that feels like unless you are truly an empathetic person who cares about human beings. So
right.
I love that journey, and I am going to buy You Are A.B.L.E because I'm always looking for not just new reading material, but uplifting, building reading material because it's a journey, like you said. You're always going to be working on you. Yeah. Anyone can say, I'm done, I'm great, I'm perfect. I haven't met that person yet.
No, me either.
And honestly, I think I may be scared to meet that person if they say they're perfect.
Right, because Jesus,
I'm right. It's my time because that's the only perfection I know, or close to perfection, right? So I'm definitely going to pick up your book for sure.
Thank you.
But traveling now that you've got all these healing pieces, tell me about the travel piece because I know people in the Black and brown community don't travel very much. I mean, I think it's more than what it was 10 years ago, definitely. But not as much. Like, I didn't travel until I think the place I went when I first was able to travel outside of military was I took the kids to Florida.
Right.
I'm like,
exactly, yes.
Let's go to Florida.
Disney World.
Right. And then it's like, there's so much more. I mean, we traveled from, like, my mom's ex-husband, his state. He was from St. Louis, so we drove to St. Louis. But nothing as far as overseas, right? I met students that I went to school with that were from Ecuador, Honduras, Dominican Republic. But that was as closest to me traveling as anyone's going to get. I lived in Brooklyn. It was a huge melting pot, so I was able to mix and mingle with different cultures. Unfortunately, not a lot of the Caucasian or the white culture, excuse me, of the white culture because of where I lived. We didn't have any white students at all in the area. But how did you start that journey? What was your first trip overseas? How about that?
Wow. Well, first of all, I've always traveled. Always. Back in the day when it was safe, my mom would put me on a bus up close by the driver, and I was about 12, and I would travel. So, I mean, I've just always been a traveler with my children. Every 3 months, we were on vacation.
Nice.
Because I was a teacher, there was a break every 3 months, and we would go do something fun.
Oh,
Summertime,
nice.
we would do something fun. So I've always enjoyed travel, but I had never went overseas. I took my kids to all of the natural wonders in the United States, but never overseas. I think my first trip, gosh, let me think, was a cruise. And I cruised to Jamaica, I think it was my first one. Or the Bahamas. Maybe it was the Bahamas. Yeah, the Bahamas. And I so enjoyed it. I'm like, this is how you live. Okay. On the cruise ship, all the food you can eat. Now, this was definitely pre-COVID.
Right.
But, and you're dancing, you're having fun. Remember, I'm the party girl. So, I enjoyed it. And then it was like, when's the next cruise? Another cruise. But I never did a land stay. So then a friend of mine was doing a Jamaica girls trip. Sign me up. And I was my first land trip. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun. And I've been to, I've been to Puerto Rico. I've been to the Bahamas. Some cruise, some land. I just came back. Our company now does overseas conventions. And our convention was in Punta Cana. I'm getting ready. Our next cruise, our convention in August is going to be in Puerto Vallarta. I went to Egypt with our group. Oh my goodness, seeing the pyramids close up, being able to walk. We did a Nile River cruise. Wow. So, where Moses was in the basket and people were fishing and stuff. And I mean, I have had so many great experiences. I was able to take my granddaughter to, where did we go? It was it was in Mexico. I can't remember exactly where. As a travel agent, I was able to go to Cancun and stay at 3 different resorts. Wow. It was with the Sandos, not Sandos, but Sando. I stayed at 3 of their resorts in Cancun, and they took such good care of me. They made sure I was safe. I got to my next place. The one thing I did learn, and a suggestion, if you're going to another country, learn some basic statements in their language.
Yes.
If you're going to Mexico, at least know how to say, where's the bathroom?
Yes.
What's the phone number? You've got to know some basic things. If you're going to take a taxi or something, know where you're going. Know how to say it in their language. Because you need that. Yeah. You go into these countries and they're speaking whatever the language is. You don't know what's going on.
No.
My first trip, when I went to Cancun, I went by myself. And I went on Volaris airline. Okay. I did not know that was a Spanish airline, Spanish-speaking airline. When the stewardess, when it was time to line up, Nobody spoke English. And I'm like, when do I get on the plane? I got my ticket. And they were like, what?
Right.
And so all those little things that you should know how to do, make sure you know how to say them in whatever the language is.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true because it you get lost. You get lost, and um, I'm so happy to hear that you traveled all over with your kids is great. I again was not able to do that, but when our oldest turned 19, well 18. Actually, she was 17. Oh my gosh. She graduated high school from when she was 17, but she took Italian for 4 years. So she speak Italian now. I tried to get her to take Spanish because she is half Puerto Rican, but she didn't want to learn Spanish. But whatever, fine. Um, but so she was bullied in school a lot, so she didn't want to go to the trip to Italy with the students from the Italian because she was in an Italian club. She did 4 years, right?
Right.
So I said, okay, but I wanted you to have an experience. I need you to go away, oversee, see the world, right? So I found this group that of teachers that take students overseas.
Nice.
And they're students from different schools around the area, and they go as a group. So you don't have to worry about the safety of your kids, right? Because we all met for months every week, getting to know each other, so we knew who the teachers were and things like that. So she was able to go to Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and she went to Northern and Southern Ireland and stayed overnight at a house and helped at an orphanage.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
I know that's a memory that she will have in her mind always, forever.
Yes, yes. And it was amazing. And yes, I was scared, but I knew she would call me and she would send me pictures. And, she ate food from the region and learned different dialects. And, so speaking and engaging with the community is priceless. It is priceless.
It is.
And it adds value to you, I think. Right?
It does. And opens your eyes. You look at things differently.
Yeah.
And that's what more children, more of our kids need to do, is to see things that there's more than just their little environment.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be either in a poverty situation or it could be in a wealthy situation.
Right.
There's still more things in your little world that you need to experience and see, because then you can more interact and relate to other people.
Yes. Yes. And you're more understanding, and I think makes you culturally aware.
Yes.
Makes you culturally aware. And I think we need more of that because we get so sucked into our little circle.
Yes.
That it's like, okay, there's more people out there. So I always say, meet people and make friends from all over the world.
Right.
So I have friends from Africa, different regions in Africa. I have friends from Thailand, from Philippines.
You made me remember a experience. I went to South Africa.
Oh, yes.
And it was a teacher, a Fulbright scholarship that I received, and so the teachers were all there. And it was right after apartheid had ended.
Ooh.
And going and seeing the people that were out of work, mm-hmm. that were, in situations that we would be, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? But they were out there making it happen.
Yes.
And that was a great experience for me. We stayed with the African people, South African people, and we also stayed with the Afrikaners.
Oh, nice. The white
South African people. And went to the schools and just seeing those stark differences. When we would go to the Afrikaner schools and they'd have technology and classrooms, tables, and everything. And I mean, they were still very respectful, and there was no issues that we had. Mm-hmm. But then we would go to the African homes, and the first thing they'd ask you is, you want something to eat?
Yes.
Like, no. But they were just, that's just the custom is you offer some food and some water.
Yes.
You do that with everybody. But just seeing the little that they had and how they made it big, and they always were open to share with others. And so seeing that difference in culture, one, it made me be proud to be, say, African American, because I've been to Africa, I saw the people, I even got a couple of marriage proposals.
Oh,
didn't take them. But I mean, it broadens your vision of, like you said, cultures and people and the world in general. That it's not just us. It's just not the United States. There's a lot more out there, a lot more countries, cities, people, and we should be open to go and visit them. And that's what travel enables you to do. And that's why I love being in the travel industry and helping people to learn how to enter into it and not only enjoy it, but to make money in it as well.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, being a travel agent,
yeah,
you know, people think, oh, they don't use travel agents anymore because they just go online.
No.
I read an article yesterday about how if you're going on a cruise, it's best to go through a travel agent. Because as travel agents, they know the time of year that you should go.
Yeah.
Whether you don't want to go when it's hurricane season or typhoon season, you know, those little things that they've researched, the travel agents research, they know. And which the rules on this cruise. You know, maybe this cruise says you can take your mask off here or there. The other one may say, oh no, masks everywhere. I mean, all that information, so it's better to use a travel agent. So it's a high need right now for people to become travel agents because more and more people now are saying, okay, got my mask off, I guess it's safe. I'm going to go travel because I've been in the house for 2 years. And so, you know, what I do is I help them learn how to become travel agents and how to become successful and build their travel business. But also, there's an opportunity if you want to help other people that you can make money through another way, you know, through direct sales. You know, just like a lot of the other direct sales companies, travel has a direct sales component as well.
Nice.
So there's many ways. I think our company says we have over 32 ways to make money. And so anybody interested, we're Healing Nations with Vacations. Nice. So join the movement, give me a call, go to my website. That's what I'm here for.
That's right. Healing Nations with Vacations. I love that. I mean, I really do. And I'm looking forward to my next trip. Like I said, we're taking a cruise.
Where are you going?
It's a 4-day cruise, Nassau, Bahamas.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to Nassau for 4 days. And it's a nice ease back into it because we've been closed out for a while. I have not gone anywhere since the pandemic. My husband, on the other hand, has been out and about. He's already been to the Bahamas last summer diving.
Wow.
So he's a certified scuba diver. And he was in kayaking in the Hudson.
Really?
He kayaked the Hudson. Yeah.
The water made.
Yeah.
Cruise, yes, but a kayak was too close to the water.
I was, So you're talking about a praying woman that whole time?
Yes.
It was October.
Oh, wow.
I said, Lord, just bring my husband back home in one piece, please. And
he came back safe.
And he came back safely.
Yes.
So he's been traveling, so it'll be nice to get back in there. But like you pointed out, I need to find out what the regulations are for the Bahamas while I'm on the cruise ship. I mean,
yes,
with the norovirus and all the illnesses that broke out pre-pandemic, they were actually doing pretty well. Like all the things that they have us doing now, they were already doing that on the cruise ships. Remember, I mean, you remember,
Exactly.
you walk into the dining facility, you're, sanitizing.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Hands.
They're squirting it for you. We didn't see
Right.
you.
Yeah, we don't want you touching it. We're gonna do it.
We're doing it for
With
you.
gloves on.
Right. So I honestly don't think they have much more work to do on that end. And it's just going to be different, and I'm just really interested to see. So that will be my first trip since the pandemic.
What ports are you going to?
Coco Cay.
Oh, nice.
And don't remember the other spot, Nassau. Coco Cay and Nassau, Bahamas. It's only a 4-day. Like this one's a short one. So we're only going to those 2 spots and then back.
Right. You'll have fun.
Yeah, I said I'm going to have fun either way. It's going to be a nice trip. It's going to be a nice trip, a nice getaway. So I am really interested in that travel, and I know a couple of friends of mine had asked me about visiting your website. So.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Victoria, one of them, will be definitely is interested in that. So definitely, you will be leaving me your information, and I will definitely post it up so that it's there for everyone to reach out to you for both.
Yes, I will.
For your book and for your traveling business. So what's next for Dr. J?
Well, we are having a big, what is it? It's a business meeting called The Platform in Vegas, April 4th through the 11th, through the 10th. And I am able to do my first speaking engagement. I know, I am so excited.
No,
it's one of those, you want people there, and the room was 30. Now, I don't know how many will be there, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I can't wait for mine.
I would love to be able to just travel around. Travel, I got to travel.
You got to travel.
And speak to people and, the hurting people and help them to learn how to move forward.
Oh, man.
And then for those that want to become travel agents or who want to do direct sales, I'm here. That's 3 different ways I can help people. And I'm working with a business to get my website together so that those areas are on there. I want to make videos, podcasts maybe.
Yeah.
From different chapters from my book.
Absolutely.
On how to heal. It will go along with the book. Mm-hmm. It would have some additional information. And I'm looking to write my second book called Still Able.
Oh.
Because I'm still able. Because when I wrote the first book, I wrote it totally from my heart. Mm-hmm. Strictly from my heart. And so there's a lot of emotions in there. And I love that. But now that I'm healed a little more, mm-hmm. I want to write more meat as far as instructions. Here's what you can do. Mm-hmm. You know how I felt because you read the first book.
Right.
So you know all the feelings and you know why. But now let me elaborate on here are some strategic ideas, tips that you can do. And so that it'll be like a continuation, mm-hmm. not a regurgitation, but a continuation of my first book with more. Then the teacher comes in.
You're right.
All right, you got the emotions out. Now, let's get to work.
Let's get to work.
Let's get to work.
Yes.
So that's my goal. That's my vision for the next couple of years. I want to have that. I want to be able to travel around and speak to groups of women and just share my experience, my story, and help them heal through that and feel better about themselves.
Yes. I'm going to join you on that bandwagon too. It's going to be we'll be on that circuit together. How about that?
I'd love it. I would love it. Let's start planning it.
Yes, because that is my goal too, is to go around and just teach and educate on health and wellness and just, remembering you. Self-care is not selfish.
Health, wealth, and wellness.
Health, wealth, and wellness, because they all go together.
That's right.
They really, really do.
So you got the health and the wellness. I got the wealth. We're ready to go.
You're ready to go.
Say somebody sponsor us. Or
That's right.
Hire us.
Hire us. We got this. Curriculum's already written.
Just call us and we'll show up and lives will be changed.
That's right. How my grandmother used to say, you show up and you show out.
There you go.
No, I you know what, and I love it, and yes, and I'm not kidding either. I'm on it. Like if you need a speaker, I got it. I'm already prepared.
All right. Well, let's go.
No.
And I did want to say that if you or others are able to come on Thursday, April 7th, to Vegas at the Rio, as a guest of mine, you can come and spend that one day free.
Oh, nice. On the 7th?
On the 7th, April 7th, because that's the day I'll be speaking too.
Oh, nice.
And we're having a expo, a business expo, so you'll be able to shop and buy clothes and purses and whatever you want to buy. It'll be available there, jewelry, and there'll be more speakers than just me. There's others.
Yeah.
But there'll be speakers that you can hear, and then, you know, after you spend that day, even if you decide that I want to do Friday and Saturday too, there's ways that you can buy your ticket to come on Friday and Saturday as well.
Nice.
And Sunday. Okay, Diana.
I know.
On Sunday, and I know you've heard of this lady, we always have a gospel fest because we got to give honor to God. On Sunday, our guest vocalist is Helen Baylor.
Oh, wow.
Helen Baylor, and that is free for people to come to. See? Again, you have to be a guest of somebody, so you can come as my guest. But Helen Baylor, she sings that our God is an awesome God. Oh my goodness, I used to sing that at our church. We love that song.
Yes.
So everybody come out.
Oh man, and I'm jealous that I can't make it. I worked really hard, but I'm putting my hat in for next year, okay, as a speaker and a vendor. Okay.
We're going to start the sign-up link this year for next year. So I will make sure you have that information.
Okay. I'm on it.
All right.
So you guys heard it here. You come see us. Wherever we're going to be. I don't know if it's Vegas next year, but...
Yes, next year Vegas at the Flamingo.
All right, so you can come down to the Flamingo next year and see us all. But this year, you can catch Dr. Jamila Williams at the expo. And remember, if you do go, you have to mention that you're her guest. Otherwise, you won't be able to get in. So definitely remember that.
We do have a sign-up link, so...
And you're going to give me that.
If someone is interested in coming on Thursday, just you can email me, and I'll give you my information and my website. And you can just get in touch with me and let me know that you want to come as a guest on Thursday. I'll give you the link. You just go there, sign up. It's no charge. You just sign up as a guest of Dr. Jamila Williams.
Nice. I love it.
Because we make a list, you get a name tag and everything, so...
And you know what? And I love expos. I love going to see the different vendors. And now that I am a vendor and can be a vendor, it makes me that much more excited to share and see. And guys, I'm telling you, that stuff that the vendors have is amazing. I always go broke from vendors.
Right. Right. And you think about, like I said, from jewelry to headgear to books, to clothing.
Yes.
I mean, you could come out of there just totally decked out and ready.
Yep.
Oh, we're doing a Great Gatsby on Friday night.
Yes, the Great Gatsby.
And now there is dinner. There is a charge for that. Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, we're having our black and white party where we're just going to let our hair down and have a good time jamming. Yeah. And there's no charge for that. So, but again, you know, you have to come as a guest of someone. Mm-hmm. You can't just show up and say, hey, party time. You know, you got to be a guest of someone. Right. But so we've got that full. So, you know, next year, you got to be ready.
I'm going to be ready.
Okay.
I got the outfit already planned in my head. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Well, won't be great Gatsby next year though.
It's okay.
But I'll let you.
I'm ready.
I'll let you know. And then the black and white party.
Mm-hmm. I always got a black cocktail dress. Got 2 of them on hand.
All right. All right. Bring your comfy shoes because we're gonna be dancing.
Even got comfortable ballroom dancing shoes.
There we go. Well, you're ready.
I told you I'm ready. We got this. Thank you so much. I swear, I tell you, I love having guests. I mean, especially when you have great energy, it makes that conversation go great. And I just looked at the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, we've already been at it an hour. It doesn't, no, I just happened to just look down. It's like, oh, okay. Yes, it's been an hour. But that's the beauty of it. It's just like when you have great conversation and, heartfelt conversation about life, growth. I mean, we went through who you are, to where you've been and where you're going, right? And we can still probably peel away at a few more things, right? Because yes. I still got a few more questions in there, but like I said, I looked over at the time. I'm like, oh, I gotta stop. But that does not mean that we cannot pick up this conversation again later on, because you can. True. You can, and I am inviting you to come back.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm going to induct you. You are Auntie Jamila now.
Okay. I'll accept that.
You'll accept that?
Yes, ma'am.
So, guys, Auntie Jamila will be back.
I love people that, especially when you're on the same, wavelength.
Yes. So we will definitely have you come back and, and just talk again about, like I said, I have more questions, definitely. And, we have more things to uncover about health, wealth, and being our authentic selves, all right?
Yes.
Because just having a conversation with you, I didn't even need to ask the question, how are you presenting your authentic self when you showed up to people? Because I can see that you already do. What you see is who you are. And that's a great thing, because it's hard for some people to be that. And present that, and I'm that's just me speaking for self, wearing so many masks, showing up in different places and wondering which one to put on that day.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard.
It is hard. And so learning how to do that, that's another discussion.
Right.
Of when you're at work or you're in a public area, you can't always be yourself. Mm-hmm. But like, it's kind of like and I'm going to close here, I'll finish, but it's kind of like I told my children when I was a teacher, is that you have who you are, where you were raised, all the real you. But you also have to learn a business language so that you can get into areas that may have been closed before, but you can break through that barrier if you know how to maneuver yourself, talk in a certain way, look a certain way for that situation.
Right.
Now, that doesn't change who you are. That's just like your daughter, where she spoke English, but then she also spoke Italian. Mm-hmm. When she went to Italy, speaking Italian, it didn't change who she was. Mm-hmm. She was just able to maneuver through a different situation.
Right.
So, like I said, that's another topic.
That is. And I wrote it down, too, in my notes for next time. Because, I do take notes. So, I have that in my notes for next question for next time when you come back.
Yes.
So thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and meeting you. It's always say when you can meet someone that's a like soul, that's always a blessing. Another person to add to your circle, and another person to pray for you and pray over you. Right?
Yes, definitely.
And we can all use additional prayers. So I thank you. I thank you for taking your time out to spend with me. I appreciate it. And I am proud to be your first podcast.
Yes, first time ever.
I'm going
I
to
was
toot my
nervous,
horn.
but you made me feel at ease, so thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I look forward to many, many more conversations with you. So we will close with that. And if you guys have any questions about anything that Dr. Jamila Williams talked about, I'm going to have her information in the show notes so you guys can reach out, and also the information about the event in April 7th through the 10th, so that you can also register should you be free. And I'm going to tell you, if you can make yourself available, please do. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, so you won't see me there, but you'll get to spend time with Dr. Jamila and shake your tail feather just a little bit while you're there.
Definitely.
Definitely. So with that, I thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again in person. Right?
Person,
Or
yes.
Zoom again. You know, we've been doing a lot of Zoom, so definitely look
We have
forward
to
to
get that tour together.
I know. I know.
Get started on that.
I know. I'm working on it.
Okay.
Right? Yep, I'm working on it. So we have a couple of things going on, but we're going to get that tour together for sure. I want to say thank you so much to Dr. Jamila Williams, Auntie Jamila, for joining us today on the Soulful Eclectic. It was an honor and a pleasure to have a conversation with you, to learn more about you, and also to learn how we're able to travel and do all these great things. And you showed us that even though we've retired from one thing, we can continue to build our lives doing something else, something that we love. And it's so amazing to see. And it's amazing to see the people of the Black and brown community embracing that. Right? So I want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you again for sharing your love for teaching, your love for education, your love for the children, just your passion. I love that you shared you and your passion, and you know how you handle life, how you handle grief, how you handle the balance of maintaining your sense of self, and how you had that journey. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. So with that, we're done with this episode. This is a long one, so if you need to break it up, by all means break it up. But I encourage you to just listen to it, and there's food for thought in here for, I think, for everyone, everyone. So again, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And if you ever need hair care or skin care, please look up divinenubianessentials.com. It's the body butter that is of all body butters, I have to say. And also, if you're looking for tutoring services for someone who is in healthcare careers, reach out to collinserm.com, and they will definitely get back to you on helping assist your student, especially those students that are in the Black and brown community, those students that are English as a second language, the students that Dr. Jamila were talking about. Thank you again, and have an amazing rest of your day.